Hey there beautiful, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video that I'm really excited to share with you guys. Today I'm going to be going through my entire palette collection, which is going to be huge. I'm going through each area of my makeup collection, going through bronzers, blushes, each category I'm doing a whole collection video on. So as you can see, I have all my palettes behind me. I'm going to pull them out and tell you about them like quickly one by one. I'm not going to go in depth into each palette just because I have so many. If I did go in depth into them, we would be here for like forever. But if you would like to hear me talk more about a particular palette, then let me know in the comments down below and I could do a dedicated video to a palette. I could do a review on like a category, like I could do a review on like my Too Faced palettes or something if that's something you're interested in. But I will definitely have like tutorials and like videos on my channel of each palette. Eventually I'm working my way through my palettes right now. So yeah, I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to start off with some kind of more random palettes and then get into some collections. So the first palette I have is my current rainbow palette. This is the BH Cosmetics Take Me to Brazil. I used to also have a Smashbox Shay Mitchell collab, the rainbow little, I think it's a 7-piece shadow little palette, but I let my sister take that, so now I just have the BH Cosmetics Take Me to Brazil, and I'll show you inside. Just looks like this. Also has a mirror inside. Not my favorite rainbow palette, not my favorite rainbow palette of all time, but it is a really good one, and as you can tell, mine is super busted because I love it. I'm probably already talking too much about each palette, so I'm going to speed through a little more. This is the Makeup Revolution, the Emily Edit, and these palettes I kind of find a little bit more difficult to open. So this is the Needs, which is in the smaller packaging, and there's a huge mirror on it, and then this is what the shades inside look like. And then I also have the Emily Edit the Want. So these two palettes, you saw me haul last year, and they're from Makeup Revolution's collab with Emily Noel. This big one I really struggle with opening, but the larger one is in this like peachy kind of shade, and it just says the Emily Edit the Wants, and it has so many colors inside. Kind of reminds me of the newest pumpkin palette from Too Faced, but it has a giant mirror. I'm just gonna not show you my entire room really messy right now, but those are what the shades look like. It's a really decent sized mirror, and yeah, cute palettes. So those are all of some random ones. Let's go into like a little collection. I collected these Revlon customized little 5-pan duos while I was in high school. They don't make these anymore, but Revlon recently came out with a pretty similar range of like these kind of thin style eyeshadow palettes with like lots of small shades in like a thin style like long palette, if that makes sense. Kind of in the same vibe as the Natasha Denona palettes and the new mini elf like bite-sized palettes. So I'm just going to read out the names of each of these Revlon customized palettes as I go, because no one has these anymore because they're so old, but I still have them because I haven't gotten rid of them. I think they're really cute. And they also have, what's this called, like a little brush in them. They're really dirty. As you can see, like there's white all over the like darker shade. I've just had these for ages. This first one is in the shade Gold Spun. This next shade, I use like the light shade in that one most. That's why the white's like messy and on the other shadows. This next one is in the shade Smoky Sexy 035. This next one is in the shade 10 Sweet Innocence. And they have on the back of these, like, they don't really do this as much anymore, but they have a little like tutorial on the back. If I was to shop now, I probably wouldn't pick these up, but I bought them in high school when I was first getting into makeup, and so I still have them. This is 20 Naturally Gorgeous. This was one of my faves at the time. It's just like a neutral, kind of cooler toned neutral shades. This one is another one that I got a lot of use out of. This is Metallic Chic number 025. This one is a really colourful fun one. This is Party Pops number 15. And then this one is 30 Rich Temptations, kind of a purplier shade. I like purpley tones on my eyes because I feel like it's flattering on like brown and green eyes. I think purple looks really nice on the eyes. And then this is 022 Beach Beauty, and it's really fun with the pop of blue there, and like some more smoky shades. So if you don't use the blue, it's like a really smoky palette, but the blue is like a fun pop. A lot of my palettes I've had for ages just because I don't really find my palettes expire. There are a couple of palettes that I'll show you that I keep for sentimental reasons that are definitely expired. But the powders, like I feel like they're fine, and I'm not like, they don't smell bad, they perform well. Like there's nothing weird about the performance that tells me they're gone off or anything, so I still use those, just very rarely. Okay, so let's go into some more random ones. I kind of want to go through all my Too Faced ones last because there's so many. This one is probably one of my favorite palettes of all time. This is the Desi X Katie Friendcation palette, and this is so gorgeous. First of all, the packaging, stunning. And then this is what the inside looks like. Absolutely beautiful, great mix of mattes and shimmers. Mirror inside as well, really nice, and I just love this palette. I actually forgot to bring over my other Desi x Katie Dose of Colors collection palette, so I'll bring that right over. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have what is my favorite palette of all time. This is the Girls. I can't believe I forgot to bring it, but it's because it's a smaller shade than some of my other palettes, so it's in a different area. This is the Dose of Colors, the Girls palette with the 4 kind of accent shades they did with their first collab with Desi and Katie. Favorite palette of all time. I actually don't have any backups of any of my palettes. Like, you know how I purchase backups of like my favorite foundation, or I have like extra highlighters on hold? I don't ever do that with palettes because who's ever going to use up a palette? Not me, but I have a backup of this palette just because I dig into these shades so much and I don't want to live without them because they're so beautiful, and I've really enjoyed this palette, and so I do have a backup of this one living in my drawer over there because love it. Okay, let's go into some more. So as I mentioned earlier, I do have 2 palettes that I keep for sentimental reasons. So these are not palettes that I ever use. These are just ones that I hold on to for special reasons. This first one is Little Travel Collection palette from Chanel. This was my grandma's, and so when she passed away, I held on to it even though I never use it. It was hers, so it's special to me. It's beautiful. I don't think she ever used it. It's just like Chanel packaging is stunning. I'm just trying to open it gently. Is it open on the other side? Oh, it's the other side. Literally, I like don't use this. And it's definitely like gone off in here. Not off, but like I wouldn't use it. So like, as you can see on the mirror, there's like the not decomposing, like the deteriorating little Chanel sponge tip applicator. And then they also have a really cute little Chanel brush, which I'll show you. It's so cute. Maybe I should take out this brush and use it because it's still good. The brush is still good, obviously. And it has a little Chanel written there. Really cute. And then it has this kind of plastic sheet over the whole thing. And then it has some lip shades and some eye shades. As you can see, they're all crumbly and like not good. And I wouldn't use cream that has been sitting there for so long. But I keep this at the back of my drawer because it reminds me of my grandma, and she was a fancy lady. So yeah, I just have that one from her. And then I also have this palette that was my first makeup palette that was ever given to me from my aunt. She gave this to me like at Christmas time, I think, and this is a Hocus Pocus eyeshadow palette, and this was actually a really decent palette at the time, but it's definitely gone off. I've repressed all the shades multiple times because when I was a kid I was like playing with them and messing around with them and they'd break and stuff, but really good palette actually. This was really pigmented. It was a really fun, playful, colourful palette for me as a kid, and it just reminds me of like being a kid and discovering makeup. So yeah, really love holding on to these 2 for sentimental reasons because they make me happy. Looking behind me, seeing all my palettes just makes my heart so happy, just because my palettes are not my favorites, but like I collected them over so many years, you know, I've saved up for them, they're exciting. I really think before purchasing a palette, just because once I have a palette, it's kind of an investment, you know. It's like it's something that I'm gonna have for a long time, and so I don't want to just like buy random palettes and like spend all my money on like a load of random palettes. I really want to have like palettes that I like and I'm gonna enjoy and love. This next one is from Etude House, and I purchased this when I was in Taiwan. I went there to improve my Mandarin for a bit, and this is what the palette looks like. But yeah, it's a really cute, so I'm like trying to hold the little applicators in. It's a really cute little cherry blossom palette, and I just think it's really fun. It just reminds me of my trip there, and it just has the cutest little sweet little cherry blossom colors, and you can create really pretty looks with this one in my opinion. This next palette is from Winky Lux, and this is their rainbow brow palette. So I know it's like not an eyeshadow palette, but I included it in here anyway. I still have the plastic over the top just because I'm scared of like the powder like breaking or something and making a big mess, but it probably won't. But yeah, it's just the rainbow brow palette. So there's all these bright pigment shades that you can mix to make pretty much any color of the rainbow. And then this is a brow wax down the end. It did come with a brow brush, if I can find it. It just came with this little Winky Lux brow brush, which is just like an angled brow brush. It's a good one. And I use that all the time, so I take it out of the palette so that I can use it all the time. But yeah, really like this palette, and it's fun and versatile, and it does kind of count as a rainbow palette, so maybe I should include this in my like rainbow palette category alongside my BH Cosmetics Take Me to Brazil. I do like it, and I think it's a really fun one because you get to like play with mixing the different colors. This next palette is my single shadow palette. So this actual like Z palette style magnetic palette is from Australis, which is an Australian makeup brand. And then inside the actual single shadows are from 2 different brands. So the top row is all ones from Colourpop, and then the ones underneath are from Kylie Cosmetics. So yeah, those are some single shadows that I've collected. I'm not going to be showing you guys my whole single shadow collection today, just because there's so many and I would literally never get through them all. But you can see my single shadow collection in my entire makeup collection video. I've gone through all my drawers and everything, and you can like have a peek at an overview. But the single shadows that I have that can be put into a pan are in this pan. So yeah, these are my single shadows that live in a pan. So in a palette. That's my palette of single shadows. Okay, let's go into some Essence palettes. I forgot the name of Essence for a second. So these I used to love in high school. They were really affordable, and so I was able to collect like quite a few. Like with the Revlon ones, you know, these are more affordable palettes, and so I was able to, you know, have more fun with different colors. The first one is Essence All About Roses. They're really beat up. Sorry guys, I just got so much love in these. So this is the Roses one. It's a little bit more on the cooler tone side, but it's kind of like a pinkier cooler tone palette. This one over here is the Bronze, and I used to love this one. These palettes are good and all, but they're not the most pigmented compared to other ones. I know that they no longer make these, or they have the same shades in like a different style of palette now. But yeah, back when I was in high school, they used to come in little palettes like this. This one is the All About the Greys. I was so obsessed with these in high school. This is like a cooler toned smoky grey palette. That I like got all my friends on these because like they were so affordable and like everyone loved them, and even though they're not the most pigmented, they're still good for the price. This is All About the Nudes. As you can tell, I've like repressed this multiple times because it kept smashing on me, but it was really pretty though, and so I still have it. That shade that kept smashing looks really pretty in this lighting. But yeah, that's All About the Nudes. And then this one was All About Toffee, and this was kind of a newer one. Like they brought this out after the others, and I was really excited. So it looks like this. It kind of has a purplier row and a bluier row, but still like neutrals. So yeah, all of my friends got on the hype of these because I thought they were fun. And this one is the Essence Be Kissed by the Moon Eye and Face palette. So there are some face colors in there as well, and these are supposed to be eyeshadows, but you could use them both. Like you could use them either way. Like these you could use on the eyes, these you could use on the face if you wanted. There's no rules. But yeah, that's one that I picked up in Taiwan actually. The rest of them I just got at Priceline here in Australia, but those are my little pile of Essence palettes, and I used to love them. I've been thinking about getting rid of them recently though. I might declutter them just because I don't reach for them as much anymore, because I now have a ginormous Too Faced collection. So I have so many Too Faced palettes. I'm going to go through them now. So these are some mini palettes that I have from Too Faced. These are all from like different collections, so I'll show you as we go. I have the Too Faced chocolate chips. This one is the matte chocolate chip, and this is the white chocolate chip. I'll show you inside each one. I really like the size of the mirrors inside these. Really decent large mirrors, and there isn't like writing all over them, so it's really easy to like see straight yourself in them. This one has matte versions of the shades from the original Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, so all the shimmer shades in the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette are here as mattes. So yeah, this is a really nice one. I love that. And then this one is the Too Faced White Chocolate Chip. It's just like a little white chocolate chip, and inside the shades just look like that. Really cute lighter pastel shades. The shimmers in there are super pretty, and the white chocolate chip is kind of like a smooth textured palette, but the matte chocolate chip, because it's matte, it has a matte finish on the plastic. I don't know if you can tell, but I thought that was a cute like touch that they added that little detail. These next palettes are little minis that they've brought out at the holiday time. I know they've brought out more minis like this in this style since, but I haven't picked them up, even though I really do like these minis. I just felt like I didn't need to get the newer ones they've come out with, like the what's one of them? It's like the gamer palette, and there's like a bubblegum scented one, and Light My Fire, or something about a match. Those little ones. They're in the same like size and style as this, but I didn't feel like I needed to get them. So this is Too Faced Sugar Cookie. So it's like a sugar cookie themed palette, and it just looks like this. This one's a little bit more dug into. This one is Hot Buttered Rum, which I believe they came out with 2 years ago now. And it just looks like this, really gorgeous warm tone shades, stunning palette. And then this is the Gingerbread Spice. I really love the gingerbread palette, so I was really excited that they came out with a mini version because it's so cute. It's like the baby version of the actual gingerbread palette. I haven't dug into this yet just because I have the full-size gingerbread, but I might like leave this at my boyfriend's house as a palette to use there because it's so cute. It's like a mini version. Let me compare the kneecaps for you. Aww, it's a baby. How cute. Anyway, I probably didn't need it, but I love having it. And this is one, probably my favorite out of all of those. This is the Too Faced Salted Caramel, and of course, all of these Too Faced palettes that I'm showing you guys today are scented, and so this one smells amazing. It smells like salted caramel. It's so delicious. And the shades in here, stunning. I love this pink shade so much. It reminds me of a shade that is in the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I didn't get the Sweet Peach palette just because I'm not as into like the peach scent, and also I felt like the colorway wasn't as my style, and so there was only one shade in that palette that I really wanted, and it was like this duochrome pink gold shift, and I feel like this satisfies my duochrome pink gold shift shaped hole in my heart. This made me very happy. They put that shade in that palette. Let me stack these up. Here's some more palettes. Oh, this one is one that I picked up recently on Depop. This is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. Everyone used to have this back in the day, and they didn't used to have Wet n Wild in Australia at that time, or at least I couldn't find it. And so I had FOMO, and so I bought this palette for myself off Depop, and I'm so glad I have it, especially because I have a weakness for shades that are kind of like MAC blue brown, like this kind of shade down here. With that like a blue brown shift, that's like my weakness in an eyeshadow. I love that kind of a shade. So yeah, really loved this palette. I'm so excited to have it. And then I have these two, which are from like the Peanut Butter collection. Peanut Butter is like probably my favorite like crease transition kind of shade of all time. It's just like so flattering, so warm toned, so nice. And so I'm really happy that both of the little spin-off palettes they came up with are both with that peanut butter shade in them, because that's actually the only shadow I've panned out of all of my palettes. And so this one is the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly, and yes, it still smells nice. It has a little mirror on the inside, but I'll just cover that so I don't blind you. These are the shades in here. I loved this when I was in high school. I beat this up because it was one of my favorite palettes at the time, and it's so beautiful. I love the warm toned shades in here, right up my alley, and the pops of purple are really fun. And then this is the Peanut Butter and Honey. I love this one as well. See, these things, they make my heart so happy. This peanut butter and honey one has this like dripping honey texture on the front, and then even like the little animations on the back, little bee, so cute. This palette also has that pop of yellow, which is super fun, and this row here is a little bit more like peachier tones, which is really flattering on the eye, and of course it has peanut butter in there as well, which is one of my favorite shades. So yeah, love these two palettes so much. Definitely some of my most used palettes because I just feel like they're really easy shades to use. Let's go into my full size chocolate bar palettes now, because I'm sure that's what everyone's been waiting for. Oh, I don't want them all to fall off. Okay, so I'll go through them, I think mostly as they came out. This is the order I keep them in my drawer anyway. So first of all, of course, the original Too Faced chocolate bar, which started all of this madness. I love this palette so much. Just a really great neutral tone palette. There are so many videos on my channel of me using this palette because I love it. It's easy, it's great. I love it, love it, love it. And it still smells nice. Very well loved. This is probably my most well-loved palette of all time, and this is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar. This was the first chocolate bar that I purchased for myself, just because I felt like the warm tone shades are most up my alley, and as you can see, this is very well loved, particularly that shade over here that I mentioned. This is peanut butter, and peanut butter I have hit pan on, and then I stopped using it because I was really scared to use it up. I didn't want to like use it all up, but I do have two other peanut butters in this palette, and the other little peanut butter themed palette, they both have peanut butter in them as well. Thank goodness, because I use it all the time. But yeah, I love the shades in this palette. They also have a matte black in there that doesn't have any like glitter or anything through it, like no micro glitters. Just a really great warm tone palette, and the shimmers in there are beautiful as well. Then I have the Too Faced white chocolate bar, which is also very pretty. I like that they put this like design on the inside. I thought that was really cute. It kind of reminds me of like peppermint. And I think the white one, it looks really pretty with chocolate bonbons like next to each other. They look so girly, oh, so pretty. Anyway, on the inside it smells like chocolate, of course, and it kind of has some lighter shades. I love the pinks in here actually. It's a little bit lighter, and I don't find that there are as many transition shades in this palette as I would like, but I usually just use it with another palette, or you know, you can make it work. Like there's that shade Cake Batter and Cookie Dough. It's just a lighter palette than what I'm used to. And then they have like, I feel like, okay, with this palette, there's a lot of lighter shades, and then they go straight into the darks. Like it's all pastel, and there's like a really, really black, and then a really, really dark brown. The black has like silver micro glitters through it, but it's not really noticeable on the eyes. But yeah, I just wish there were like some darker shades in there, but I do think it's really pretty regardless. This one is Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon. I was given this by my boyfriend last year for Valentine's Day, even though it had been out for a while. I wasn't sure if I should get it for myself, and then my boyfriend bought it for me, and I love it. I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay, this kind of sounds weird, but like sometimes when I think something's really beautiful, I hold off on using it for a bit before I get into it, and you might be like, Emily, just use your stuff. I do use it eventually. I just have to have like a grace period where I just like admire the palette for a bit. So this palette is still just being admired. It's beautiful. This is like, it's so pink and girly, and on the inside it's just got like the cutest little mirror, and all the shades in there are like little love hearts. It's so cute. I just think it's adorable. I like the tones in here. It's a little bit cooler than what I'm used to, but definitely some really pretty shades, and I'm excited to use it when I'm emotionally ready. I can't wait. It's so gorgeous. Don't worry, I will use it soon. Like, I don't want to like have palettes in my collection other than the ones that I keep for like the sentimental reasons. I don't want to have palettes in my collection that I'm not like loving and using. That's why I'm thinking about getting the Essence ones to like my cousin or something. Anyway, this is my Too Faced Gingerbread palette. This is the Gingerbread Spice, the first gingerbread palette they came out with holidays, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago now. It was ages. But it just looks like this, and I love gingerbread. It smells like gingerbread. So with these palettes, they have no like larger pan. I think it's really nice because they have 18 shades instead of the 14 that like these palettes do, where they have like a larger like matte and a shimmer. But I do like that they have one shimmer and one matte that are large in each palette, because it means that I can use this as like a highlighter and this to like set the whole eye. Like, I do think it's practical, but for this palette, like, I think it's cute also how they're all like cohesive and like are all the same size. I've used this palette a lot, as you can tell. I just love this palette so much. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm wearing it today actually. Love this palette. Then they came out with the Gingerbread Extra Spicy, which I thought was kind of random that they continued the same theme. I thought they'd do something different. My favorite like sweets at Christmas time are gingerbread and peppermint, and so I feel like this palette is kind of like a peppermint one, because I think this was a holiday one a while ago, and that's like kind of a peppermint stripe on the inside, so it's like a peppermint and gingerbread. It's like my faves. But this one has the little lady and little guy on the front, and it's really beautiful on the inside. Really beautiful warm tone shades, which are obviously quite up my alley, and yeah, I just think that's a stunning palette. And then the most recent palette that Too Faced has come out, oh, I almost dropped it. This is the most recent palette that Too Faced has come out with, and this is the Pumpkin Spice, and this one is quite similar to the Emily Noel collection she did with, what's it called, Makeup Revolution, but it just looks like that. I haven't dug into this palette yet because, maybe I have. No, I haven't, because it's new to my collection and I'm still admiring it, but it's so beautiful and I'm excited to. I think it's really stunning. And I like the way they arrange the shades in the palette. I know that's a kind of a weird thing to say, but sometimes I feel like palettes can be arranged kind of randomly. And like with these palettes, I feel like the arrangement of the shades is really nice, from light to dark, and like the way the colors go with each other, the way they're all paired next to each other and stuff. I think it's really pretty, and yeah, I'm excited to have this palette in my collection. I like Pumpkin Spice, and this is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold. This is one of my most used palettes again. I'd like to hope that most of my palettes are very well used. But this one has a really nice large mirror. And I used to wear this heaps, especially going clubbing, because it's really fun with the 4 matte shades. You can kind of create any look you want, because you have the 4 matte shades and you can just stick any shimmer on like the lid or like create any kind of look, and you have like a really easy way to create like a glittery smoky eye. All these metallic shades in here are stunning, and yeah, I've just gotten so much use out of this palette. As you can probably tell, it's very well loved, and the matte shades pair really well with each other and just create a really simple smoky eye. And then you can dress it up with any of the shimmer shades you choose. You can take it in so many different directions. You can make a pink eye, you can make a green eye, you can make a gold, silver, you can keep it neutral and go for like a bronze shade, or you could just use the shimmer shades with each other, and it's really pretty. So yeah, I love this palette so much. Definitely one of my favorites from Too Faced. And that is almost all of my palettes, but I have 2 more sitting over there that I can see right now, and I want to grab those in case I forget any other palettes. I'll just have a quick check. Okay, so I actually did find the Too Faced palettes, and then one palette that I'm actually decluttering. So I'll show you this one first. This one is going to my friend Laura, because I just know that Laura's gonna love this palette more than I'm currently loving it, because with the other shades of my palettes, I'm not reaching for this one as much. This is the BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic palette, and it's really pretty. I love the design of the packaging. I got this when I was in high school, and I liked it, but I didn't get enough use out of it. It still has the like plastic on the mirror there, and then this is what the shades look like. I'm not sure if it's going to focus, but all of these shades are really like starry themed. It's all like galaxy themed. The shades are called things like Aphrodite, Prometheus, Venus, Meteor, Comet, Earth. It's really pretty palette. It's mostly shimmers. I think they're baked shimmers. What are they called? 18 color baked eyeshadow palette. So yeah, it is a really pretty palette. You can have some like, there are some neutral shades in here. Like down this end you could create a warm tone neutral eye, a cooler tone neutral eye, or you can take it into like a blue colorful kind of direction. So actually a really fun palette, and so I'm going to give it to Laura because I just know that she's going to enjoy it more than I'm enjoying it. So have fun with that, Laura. And then also I recently gave away my Tartlet original palette, the one with all the matte shades, which might surprise some people, probably not. It's just a little bit cooler than I expected. I kind of expected that palette to have a little bit more of like a warm toned shade, a warm toned row, a neutral toned row, and a slightly purplier toned row, but it didn't like serve me in the way that I wanted it to, so I gave it to my friend Sarah because I know that she enjoys the Tarte formula, and it is a really nice palette. It just wasn't something that I was reaching for, and I replaced it with the Too Faced Natural Matte instead. This smells like coconuts. Smells divine, and this is what it looks like. I'll show you up close. So it kind of satisfies me in the way that the Tartlet palette didn't. It has a warmer tone shade range down the bottom. This row here is warmer toned in, and it's warm. I'm stumbling so much. It's warm toned enough that I feel like it looks warm toned on me, and I'm satisfied with it. So yeah, that's the warm shades. There's this purpley row in the middle here, and then there's this like neutral cooler toned row up the top. It's not too cool tone of a palette. That's what my problem was with the Tarte palette, was it was a bit too cool tone for me, whereas this is a little bit more neutral, and there are some true warm tones down the bottom, which makes me happy. And then this one is the Too Faced Natural Eyes, which just looks like this, really beautiful. And these other shades in there, these used to come in like little tins, kind of like these ones, and then they release the palettes as larger ones. So I didn't have the smaller ones, and I picked them up as the larger release, which makes me happy because the larger release also smells nice. But yeah, this is the Natural Eyes, which is a cult classic from Too Faced, and just a really gorgeous palette. So yeah, that is all the palettes in my collection. There were so many, so thanks for watching for the ride. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment anything you'd like to see from me in future down below. If there's any specific palettes you'd like to see more of, let me know. Subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. I'm always uploading, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Toodaloo!